They study the actual cities and they monitor these particular things. Fortunately, in the last 4 or 5 years, black people have gone to a certain savage level, and that's good. I'll tell you what I'm talking about. When the Arabs was going across Africa, and right after Muhammad, they went across Africa, and if you didn't submit to Islam, they cut your head off and you died.
First time I saw the prophets pick like, whoa. No one ever told I feel sick like, bro. Stomach all churning, what I'm learning like, no. Also have my own flag, not burning like, no. Fez a turban on other nations like, whoa. What's wrong with your people's minds like, whoa. Wanna take pics and talk for hours like, yo. Never felt this reppin' black power like, whoa. Never felt this reppin' chematology. Most of your black leaders teach technology. Egypt is North Africa, so is Morocco, in the farthest west. Mecca is Chicago, Mississippi, Nile River, Grand Canyon, Pharaoh. I'm Moroccan native, they call the mother spaceship. Disrespect Malik L, call him slave named Malcolm. Speak truth, watch blacks have a tantrum. Masked up like phantoms, age of corona. Catch the Heineken virus, not improper persona. Fall victim to lymphoma, pineal melanoma. Like whoa, when I read the Treaty of Verona. Whoa, when I read the Protocols of Zion. With goosebumps drinking roots of the dandelions. Berries of the elders, grass of the lemons. Like whoa, how my people ride with these snitch felons.
People lost, start telling like me felon. Twin towers explode like 9/11. Times 7 like melting down the church bells to fill a weapon too sick like Catholic priests playing with leeches. My wolf pack tear 'em apart, breaking the leashes. Bad night, bad mission, sad vision, past living, cash missing. I done seen it all before like fast life. Alhamdulillah, Stephanlaw, cash life. Feds getting involved, switching on flashlights. Allah, we appear like Walla. Shematar, make 'em calm down, Goose Fraba. CNN show the hoax on the repeat. Corona is over, now George on a repeat. Like how would you survive? Everybody crash Jesus. Take the wheel, it's gonna be another rapture. Go to crisiscast.com. Right now, you'll see that we in the matrix. Right now, George Soros handing out paychecks. Right now, niggas mad cause they ain't get paid yet. Pipe down, I mean poke down. Pause all the savages. They only active to react to what is happening. What's happening? City ordinance, man's rights subjugate the womb, human trafficking.
It's on. GS is about to be crazy. Mufti's going wild.
All of that is black culture. You see, when I was sitting down at the bus stop back in September, and I looked down and there's somebody left a Bible there. And I guess the spirit was like saying, well, there's some stuff in there you need to go in and retrieve. And I opened the Bible up and went to Moab. And then I saw a story on Turner Classics, the story of Ruth. All of this stuff, nothing but no matter these white faces or whatever, we did live in other lands and we were a universal people. And these stories of our people, that's all over the earth.
Islam Moors. So we're asked about just Sanguinis and just Soli. Right? Just Sanguinis. Oh yeah, this is Black's Law Dictionary, page 1000. Just Sanguinis, the right of blood. See, just Soli. And so they say just Sanguinis, and when they say the right of blood, then they give you a reference point. Just Soli. Okay, let's see what just Soli is. The law of the place of one's birth as contrasted with the just Sanguinis, the law of the place of one's descent or parentage. The law of the place of one's descent or parentage. Parentage means your mom. Because your dad's really a son, and your mom's a widow. One's descent or parentage. But it goes on to say, It is of feudal origin. Okay, so let's just see what feudal is then. Page 749. Feudal, pertaining to feuds or fees, relating to or growing out of the feudal system or feudal law, having the quality of a feud as distinguished from allodial. So then they give you another one, allodial. Like, hold on a second, what is this? What's happening here? Why is this happening? Because they never, ever tell you to look it up. They always want you to come to the conference that they're having or whatever. Pay your $5,000 so you can come and get this information that we got that's gonna free you. Right? They're gonna tell you, oh, don't go to those people over there who's been doing this for 20 years. Come to us because we have the barcode and we have the whatever, because we're doing this from the Soli and the Sanguinis. Not talking about nationality, not talking about Noble Drew Ali, not talking about anybody, just trying to sell you a package. When we went and checked, and they said that just Soli, okay, they said just Sanguinis, and then they said see just Soli, so that scratched out just Sanguinis, so we're not even going with that. We go to just Soli, and then just Soli is telling you that it's of feudal origin. Remember, these are Moors that are pushing this idea, like, just Soli, just Sanguinis, don't worry about nationality, just come buy this package over here. Right? Then when you go check feudal, feudal is pertaining to feuds or fees, and it is having the quality as distinguished from allodial. And then when you go to allodial, allodial is telling you free, not holding of any lord or superior, owned without obligation or vassalage or fealty, the opposite of feudal. So Noble Drew Ali told you nationality is free, allodial. These guys come and they're telling you nationality is 1500, feudal. And then you're going with the feudal. And then when the allodial starts saying, hey, who you're dealing with is feudal, you're looking at the allodial and talking about, but those are your brothers and those are your sisters. Why do you want to beat them with a bat? Like, why do you want to do that? Well, when I look over at the Asian people, all of them, when people are traitors, they don't get to go on the stage and make speeches at people's funeral. When people are traitors, they don't get second chances when they're traitors. When I look at other nations. So if it's going to be like that, where we're not going to deal with them, then we might as well stop doing anything that we're doing, because there's always going to be them, just because we don't deal with them. So don't look at the allodial Moors who've been saying that we're allodial before people were even studying like that, and only Moors were really studying. Moors been saying we're allodial. Nobody debated. Nobody said, hey, no, you can't say that. Nobody said, hey, we said that first before you. Nobody has nothing to say. Absolutely nothing to say. Nothing to say. Now, people want to talk about stuff. Now people want to talk. Been told our people, the boat has left the dock. Just like man said, yeah, I'm building the ark. Anybody want to help? We're not helping you build no ark. If it's feudal, then it's dealing with fees. Feudal, pertaining to feuds or fees. If Juali told us to learn to love instead of hate, why are we looking for feuds? Why are we engaging ourselves in feuds? Right? We're saying that look it up. Debate the dictionary. If we're wrong, if our interpretation of this is wrong based on looking it up, which is why we have the dictionary to look stuff up, and then we're not going to go with what it says in the dictionary. We're going to make up our own meanings for stuff and then say that's why. Then it is. What does Canaanland have on public record? What do we have on public record as far as what do you mean? What do you mean, what do we have on the public record? Like what do you mean by that? Because if we're talking about public record, like we can, for example, let's just look this up. Let's look this up. Maybe I'm misunderstanding. Maybe I'm misunderstanding. So let me go on the Canaanland page. Let me go on the Canaanland page. We have an article right here. The war against Moorish nationality. Grand Chief Cujo Adwael. Right? Let me go here. There's also the newspaper, which is public record. There's a newspaper, judicial notice and proclamation. Remember, this is what you were asking about. What does Canaanland Moors have on the public record? Okay, we have our own newspaper, which is public record, right? We all know newspaper is public record. And then you can see that down here, Cujo Adwael, 2013. the seal. People talking crazy. Like, you're not a temple and all this. Alright. Alright. So there's the seal. People think that this is a game or whatever. That we have nothing on the public record saying what it is that we've been saying. Remember, this 2013, nobody's debated anything. Nobody's came up and said, nah, that's not right. Nothing. No debate. Everybody acquiesced since 2013. Everyone acquiesced. Everyone acquiesced. And it says it right there. Judicial notice and proclamation. So they were put on notice. So if that's what you're asking, yes. There's our public record right there. Moorish Guide newspaper, Canaanland. Right? Find me your temple with a newspaper. Your temple got a newspaper that they can use to put stuff on the public record? But not some selfish stuff, some individual stuff, but for the nation. Because that judicial proclamation was witnessed by the trustees for the beneficiaries of the Moorish honors. Because there are benefits to this. If you're faithful, if you're honorable, if you're a traitor, you don't get to enjoy the Moorish honors. You don't get to enjoy the Moorish honors. What do you mean? What do you mean? How about nationality? What do you mean? Like, learn to ask questions, because this one word, one line stuff. What about nationality? How about it? Like, what do you mean? If you have any other questions, put them in the chat. Some of these questions are troll questions, but we can find good answers in them. So we let them ask their dumb questions. So the questions might be dumb, but the answers are going to be top shelf. So what do you mean? How about nationality? I know they're playing. They forgot I'm class clown. I can play too. I could play too. I don't mind. We're a body politic. The religious corporation is the way to exercise in the corporate jurisdictions. So the brilliance of Noble Drew Ali is that he didn't only just tell us that we're a nation, but he also set up the underneath the nation departments, which over here, you see federal, provincial, municipal, county, whatever going down, right? That's the same thing that Noble Drew Ali had set up with Moorish Divine National Movement, Moorish Old Canaanite Temple, Moorish Holy Temple of Science, Moorish Science Temple of America. That's the city right there. That's the city. So because we dropped the ball and didn't take over, and they created the New Deal and then took over, and then everybody started chasing that instead of repping what the Moors were doing, because by that time this stuff was so confused because the people started playing games with Noble Drew Ali's fame and nobility. And that's how you get the 501c3 and all that stuff going on. From those people who sold out Noble Drew Ali. That's where all that comes from. And it's all documented. You can go on Dr. Ali Melbay's website. He has all that information on there. But people who don't study wouldn't know that. But they're going to say that they rep for some Alim Bedo. But they can't point you to something on his website to go use as a reference. Much less even just bring up the website. But he's a Moor Avenger, so we rep for him. We don't care what anybody says. We don't care what they say. Right? We don't care what people say about RV Bay Publications, haters. We don't care what they say. We're repping for RV Bay Publications. For life. How come these people aren't telling you about RV Bay Publications? That's what you should be asking yourself. Why are they telling you about every other website? Go buy $88 water. You know that website, but you don't know about the website to get your nationality and birthrights back. You know where to get the hip hop guy's t-shirt and all that hip hop guy hats. But they're playing games when it's time for Moors. So we're not 501c3. We're Aboriginal and Indigenous. Now, because of the corporate game that we have to play, we have Moor Science Temple in order to play the corporate game. Because everything's a corporation, and they just want another corporation to deal with. All right, so sure, no problem. Noble Drew Ali's the man. He had this thing figured out. Checkmated these people. They didn't even want to sit at the table. Like, that's what we have to play? No, forfeit. I'm not playing him. Everybody forfeit. Until Drew Ali got assassinated, then everybody started playing like they're Noble Drew Ali now. So if a man gets assassinated, then people are pretending to be him. More than likely, the people who are pretending to be him have something to do with the assassination. Obviously. Anybody who's claiming to be Noble Drew Ali or claiming to be a prophet or claiming to be a whatever after 1930, their hand was in it. The publication is relevant because there hasn't been a Moorish publication company. Because all these traders were playing church with the Moor Science Temple when that was supposed to be for businesses too, to get started out of. I was not supposed to come and pray. The Moor Science Temple of America was supposed to be the place where you as a Moorish American could go, meet other Moorish Americans. You find out these people are in Congress. These people are National Guard. These people are civil workers. But they're in the Moor Science Temple? You think we weren't taking over stuff? You think stuff wasn't over? Japanese, Turks, and all these people joining Moor Science Temple? But there was a sellout. And these people even buried Noble Drew Ali's newspaper. So that's why we give honors to RV Bay Publications, because they became the Moorish publication. And in line with that, right in line with that, was Moor's Order of the Round Table, which had publications, and Moorish Paradigm, which had written publication by Moors, produced by Moors, manufactured by Moors, boxed up by Moors, shipped around the country by Moors. On the street corner with tapes, Moors. And then move forward, then you have Khalifa Media. Yeah. Another Moorish publication, because people sold out and dropped the ball. Now we got to deal with the mess that these people died and left here for us to deal with, because they didn't deal with the traitors. They played follow the traitors when Noble Drew Ali died. It didn't click in their brain. Now, hold on a second. How come you guys are saying you're Noble Drew Ali reincarnated all over this place? 1930. Just look how much black prophets there were in 1930. And ask yourself, how come? Where'd all these guys come from that were the prophet? Like, where'd they come from? Where did these people come from? Right? Prophet Cherry, Prophet Sweet Daddy Grace, Father Divine Prophet, the Messenger Elijah, Prophet Fard Muhammad. Man, everything came out of the Moorish movement. Everything that we see today is a branch of Moorish science. Everything. When you keep stepping back, you keep stepping back, you keep stepping back, keep stepping back, keep stepping back, keep stepping back, back some more, back some more. Now you see that it's a tree. And that's more science. You were looking at this twig before, talking about that's the tree. That's not the tree, that's a branch. You have to step back to see the tree. And that's what this does. This information does. Lets you see the fullness of what was really left for us to be free. But as soon as they take Noble Drew Ali out of the equation, you already know that they're playing him. Because he should be the first one mentioned all the time. And not because of some religious stuff either. You have any questions, put it in the chat. All you have to know and remember is that nationality is the order of the day. And without that, anything you do is probably going to fail. or get taken over by some colonists, taken over in any way that takeover registers to you. And to avoid it, to purposely avoid it, because it's very obvious. It's very obvious that when the dark-skinned people, the Aboriginal and Indigenous people of North America have an issue, anytime they have an issue, it's always complaining to the same person who abused them and never doing something about the individual that abused them. This has been the pattern, no matter what school of thought it is. There's no defense mechanism. On the level that's worth pursuing the travel there. I'm planning to become a Moor. Do I need to stay connected to Moorish American community? That's been the community, even when we thought we were black. Because a brother walking around with a t-shirt bigger than his body and a t-shirt wrapped around his head, that's Moorish. Like, that's just Moorish. And then they want white on top of that, like, white. Because every knee shall bow to Islam. So we are Moors. It's not becoming that. We've been tricked that we're not Moors. We've been tricked that we're something else. We've been told to be a Moor, you have to. It's something that we already are. No. Somebody taught you blinking was chewing and you don't know why you're always hungry. Now you can't figure it out. Man, I blink so much. I'm starving. So it's not something you're becoming. You're already that. What you're doing is reawakening this neural pathway, this valve of information that wasn't pumping. Nothing was going through it. Right? But it's always been there. It's always made itself appear to you. When you really check, from your childhood, you were experiencing things that were more science. That nobody told you that was more science. They told you whatever they told you, which was BS. All the orbs you used to see and talk to and all the type of stuff like that. That was the same stuff that people are talking today, using crystal bowls and trying to do stuff. All that is more science. the Salem witch trials and all that. That was the Salam witch trials. The peace witch? If the witch is about peace, why are you burdening her at the stuff? Like what is going on here? Something's not registering. You already know Salam that's Islam. That's Moorish. And they're burning these witches? There must be something about Salam. It's all Moorish. And the connection to the Moorish community is the same way that you were just hunting for this information and then you bumped into a Moor, or you found out about a Moor, or you knew and something was telling you that something's wrong here or whatever like that, and then a Moor said the thing to you that made so much exact sense. You've been thinking like this. You can't believe that people think that. That's why you connect to the Moorish community, because there's people who are just like you, probably right around the corner from where you live or whatever like that. You think you can't get a hold of people, but once you're studying and putting the energy into this, you're going to exude a frequency, a vibration, which is going to attract others who are also on that frequency. And again, there's only a handful saved with fingers left over, so it's not going to be a real thing where all these people gravitate to you and now you have a Moorish community. Like, it's not going to be like that. You're going to have to just go through it. But there's people who are just like yourself. They know they're a Moor. They're having issues because this information is so amazing or whatever like that, but you put people on, they don't want it. And they're not interested on a serious level. Like, they're really not interested. Now, are you questioning yourself now? Right? Don't question yourself. Heart already told you, hairs on the back of your neck raising up while you're reading some stuff about the Moors or whatever. Like, stuff already happened to let you know that this is where it's at. And because this is where it's at, there's going to be people that vibrate on that same frequency, that know exactly where you're coming from, because we're dealing with the same information. If we're really about what this is about, the vibe would tell you that's the Moorish community that you're connecting to, not some Moors who have an apartment building, 500 apartment buildings, and then all the Moors live there. That's not that, because we're not there yet for that. We're at mind detect mind at this point. If we could link up, then yes, link up for sure. If we could be okay, let's go there. And there's stuff there for us to get done and whatever. Yeah, of course. But that divine connection, every living thing being bound by a cord. So knowing that no matter where we are, we're connected still, that also has power. That also has energy behind it that we could use. Right? So don't see Moorish community as some Moors over there. There's just Moors who vibrate on your frequency is the Moorish community. Moors who you're gonna greet them, they're gonna greet you, and you're just gonna deal with more science It might be for 10 minutes, it might be for 5 hours. But yeah, that was some energy I needed building with this Moor. And then whatever you get, you take that back, and then you know what I mean? Knock out all the kinks or whatever, and then find another Moor. Right? Because we are a nation. Right. Was the Emperor of Morocco that gave the U.S. their independence, dominions over North, South, and Central, or just North? Yeah, that was just the 13 colonies. That was it. Right. Treaty of Tordesillas is how they did the South America land grab. But the North and the islands and all that was 13 colonies. They're not supposed to leave the seaboard, but they end up in the mainland. And that's where the issue comes in with these, black Indians now. Who they're trying to talk about, treaties that they did with the European are some legitimate treaties. No, they're not. Those Europeans had contracts with the Emperor of Morocco. They can't do anything here without being in contact with Morocco. But if some dumb guys in the bushes who don't study, and even though they had their Native American culture stuff telling them about, the red man's gonna come and do this and do that, they ain't go with that. They went with let's do some contracts with these people, opposed to sending those people back to the seaboard. Like, hey, no, you guys have treaty with the Emperor of Morocco, right? Are you guys the same guys who just signed the Treaty of Peace and Friendship and stuff like that? Hold on, let me just look at the map or whatever. How do you get all the way over here? You're supposed to be at the seaboard? Not, hey, how you doing? Do you want my daughter? I'll give you my daughter if you give me those little blankets that you got right there, because we don't have any blankets. We never seen blankets before. Oh no, don't worry about that. Buffalo hide that we've had that's kept us warm for thousands, millions of years or whatever. We want your blanket that we never felt before on our skin. Traders sold the Moors out. Everybody sold the Moors out and then calling Moors the sellouts. And they know too that they sold out. Not like they don't know. They know exactly what they did. Right? So Europeans were supposed to be on the colonies, that's it. They weren't supposed to go anywhere else. So how did they get into the mainland? How'd they get into the mainland? These are the little stories that you hear of the European just wandering and bumped into an Indian, and they ended up being the best of friends, and then the Indian brought them back to the thing, and then they pillaged everybody, murdered everybody, stole everything, and then started saying whatever they're saying. So there were only 13 colonies. If you see them anywhere else, know that they raped and pillaged. They didn't just get anywhere else. They did dirt to get anywhere else, because there's no anywhere else for them to go. You're supposed to be in the 13 colonies. You're supposed to be in the 13 colonies. I don't care where a treaty was signed. I don't care what. We know that the only jurisdiction that they had was in the 13 colonies. That's it. And that jurisdiction was supremely limited. And if you read Dr. Alim El-Bay's book, you'll find out about the coup. First World Order. You'll find out about the coup, and then how they brought in a guy who looks like a guy named George Washington and all that stuff and took over. And then have you thinking, go vote for Biden, vote for Trump, as if that's United States government stuff or whatever. No, it's not. That's all corporate. When we see treaty, we see treaty of peace and friendship. When they see treaty of Corona. That's the games they're playing. Right. So always remember that. Always remember that. Oh yeah, you know what? We'll just do it this way. Right. Prophet, plea to a nation. Our divine and national movement stands for the specific grand principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And I, the prophet, am applying to all loyal, faithful Moors, members, and American citizens to help me in my great uplifting acts of uplifting fallen humanity among the Asiatic race and nation. For I have suffered much and severely in the past through the misunderstanding of what the movement was dedicated to. It is the great God, Allah alone, that guides the destiny of the divine and national movement. I know all true American citizens are identified by national descent names, and to answer and apply to the free national constitution of this free national republic of the United States of America. Today, the stuff you see going around people voting for right now, that's democracy. That's not republic. Articles of Confederation, Article 11, Canada is a republic of the United States of America. Canada is a state, not a country. Which is again why we say Canaanland and not Canada Moors. Because Canada is a corporation. It's a state of the United States of America, republic. Not the democracy that you see today. Free national republic. Not democracy. All you hear them say is democracy. They never say republic unless they're talking about Republican Party. That's not republic. Elephant and donkeys, voting for elephant and donkeys means you're in the zoo. If you're voting for the zoo animals in the election, then you're in the zoo. You're in the zoo too. It's just which monkey are you? Right? Which monkey are you? You can't vote for elephants and donkeys and think that you're not having psychological issues. I wouldn't say controlled by Great Britain. I would say more subordinate to somebody. I don't know who, because that's not any of my business. I already have my stuff that I need to study. Be worrying about these people's corporation that has nothing to do with me. Like, the corporations don't have anything to do with me. Canaanland, Morocco, I'll deal with that. Canada, United States, I don't know what that is. I never heard about Great Britain. I don't know any about. I don't know any about none of that. All that's fiction. That's the little novels. And it's documented fact that they're that. So it's not a thing like, we're against some whatever. No, you just go look it up. Canada has a CIK number for the United States Security and Exchange Commission. The United States has a registration number. If India is a British company, then Great Britain can't tell me that they're too much other than a corporation. That's just what the evidence says. Right, so it's not, is the United States and Canada. Those are just shell corporations. Great Britain, those are just all the countries, they're just shell corpses. Don't look at those as a real anything, just like you wouldn't look at what McDonald's is doing. If you don't go to McDonald's, you don't care what they're doing. You don't care what Ronald McDonald's doing. Is he even still around? Did they murder him? I mean, is there anybody left even? If that has nothing to do with you, it doesn't apply. I forgot to check what time I started this, so if you got questions, put them out there. You don't have to hold out. If you got anything, throw it out. Because it's a distraction, right? Once you start going into United States and Canada controlled by Great Britain, then you got to start bringing in the different family names and the different, which, Jolly brought you everything it takes to save a nation. I would read what he brought you more than the conspiracy whatever of the U.S. and the stocks crashing, debt clocks and whatever. Like, that's not salvation information. That's just info. Salvation is information. The salvation information is what's going to get your mind right. How can I own property without paying taxes? If you're Aboriginal and Indigenous, why will you be paying a European tax when the Europeans came here after you? That's why you don't pay taxes. Because people's mindset of taxes is paying or not paying. Moor's perspective of taxes is we're not obligated to that. We've been here before you even started thinking about charging tax on somebody. So there's no way that you could charge me tax. But again, because of the system that was created, Moors needed a way to present something to them. Because you can't just say to them, don't give me taxes. You need to present something. Which is where CMB comes in, that nobody talks about. Everybody wants to know how to get off taxes or whatever, but they don't know anything about CMB. They haven't read Clock of Destiny 1, 2, Circle of Life. They haven't read anything as far as the literature from CMB. But they want to get taxes off. See our problem? Do you see our problem? We want to get taxes off, which is a benefit, right? Because you're in a wardship colonial system whose job it is to rape people by any way that they see fit, because you're in their jurisdiction, because you're claiming some fiction name that makes you have to pay taxes to these people. You find out, hey, hold on a second, I don't have to pay taxes. All I gotta do is give them this number. No, that's not how it works. All you gotta know is know the truth about your nationality and birthrights. And then in knowing the truth about your nationality and birthrights, that activates what it is you're trying to manifest. Because if you're just doing it because somebody told you, you don't know. And as Moors who have been doing this, we're trying to tell you, watch out for the quicksand over there. You don't want to hear what we're saying. You're not taking a stick with you to go push it in front. You want to just walk. You just want to run through the forest. And then you're in quicksand and then you're complaining. How do I get out the quicksand? How do I get out? What do you mean? You shouldn't be throwing around some number that you don't even know what it is. What's AA222141? Can't even say what it is. But somebody said I use that for taxes to get my taxes off. All right. I'm the guy who is taking the taxes off. Okay, what is that? What do you mean AA222141? Like what do you mean? If that's not known, then don't talk about a number. If you don't know what CM in CMB means, then don't talk about tax number. If you don't even know who CMB is, don't talk about get taxes off. Because you're committing fraud. Because you can't seek a benefit without showing allegiance. You can't take the position of forget that guy, but if he has a whatever, I'll use that and get a benefit. That's how people get injured. Because if you say AA222141 to the wrong U.S. government agent and you put certain things on papers, learn from Moors who it happened to already. They will come get you with their IRS goons and all that stuff. So keep playing around. If you have anything else, you could hit the DM. We're getting the countdown. Peace and love to all the Moors worldwide. Keep studying and learn to love instead of hate, and have a greater respect for womanhood. Honors to all mothers.